So whatever seed your dad planted and your mom actually took care of it, you still grew that apple tree, right? Right? Like she said, moms be here. Not always, but more so in America, right? Mom be there because they set it up that way. They kicked dad out the house.
Right.
So that we had to have one parent household. Why? Because we're too strong as a people, man. We can't have mom and dad and they both raise you up and teach you. We wouldn't even be in their school or in their society, man. We would have our own if we did thus saith the Lord. Right. But we do thus saith the man, right? Peter and the other apostles said we ought to obey God rather than man, but we follow after man and then we get stuck inside of his ways and his laws. The Lord told us to keep what? Keep his commandments, keep his laws, keep his statutes. Now, do you keep Christmas? You ever done it? Have you ever done it?
Nope.
Never done Easter? You ain't never done none of the man-made holidays ever? So you ever
celebrate them because
that's the same thing as doing it. So you celebrated them before, right?
Whenever my mom bought me something for Christmas,
right?
My dad told us to put it into his arm.
Okay, I understand that, but still, but listen, that's not the point that I'm getting to is we kept these holidays, these holidays,
and I'm 51.
right?
I don't even have kids.
I understand.
Just because
your life was hard, right? Life with your father being there and then not really being there is hard. I understand that. I know. My dad had me at what, like 3 years old, trying to smoke weed with him, and he's supposed to be the one that would teach me not to do that stuff, right? That's what we would think. But nah, our people have to go through hard ways because we don't listen to our main father.
That's right.
We don't listen to the Most High God, our Father. He said that he's only the father of the Israelites and nobody else. Did you know that?
I've heard that.
Okay, so do you believe it? I mean, because I hear a lot of stuff, and there's only certain things that I actually take in and believe. Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Because then that will be, what's the word I'm going to use, blasphemy, because you can't be all our fathers when you select a father.
So what if he's only one nation of people's father? What if he's just the creator of all people, but only one of them he took under his wing as his children?
Then I would have to say that's one ignorant as God.
Why?
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 Because
all right, look, you
can't create all and justify that you only care about one.
Why?
Why?
Parents even do it. Cats, animals, dogs do it. Why can't the Most High God do what he wants when it's his creation? You ever created anything? You ever made anything out of like Play-Doh? You ever build anything out of Legos?
Yeah, I've been a chef for 30 years.
Now my question, when you created these things, did you have one that you liked more than the other?
No, I like them all equal.
So have you ever had a favorite of anything? You ever had a favorite of anything? You ever had like a favorite pair of shoes? You ever had a favorite coat, favorite cat, favorite anything?
No.
You had a favorite parent though, didn't you?
I have evenly.
Did you have a favorite parent?
Never had a pet.
Parent. Did you favor your mother over your father?
I only had one. I didn't know my father, so I couldn't make that statement.
Right.
Because all I had was my mother.
Right.
You know, and you gotta have two in order to have a favorite of one or the other.
Okay, so you've never had a favorite anything ever?
Color.
What's your favorite color?
You're looking at black.
So your favorite color is black.
And the only reason my favorite color is black is because black absorbs everything.
Because it what?
Only reason my favorite color is black because it absorbs everything.
Because it absorbs everything. Okay, but you still got a favorite color, right? Guess what God's favorite people are? The so-called blacks. And I guess because we absorb everything.
I guess you could put it that way.
I'm putting it that way because that's what the Bible tells me. Right. The Lord said that we are the best people on the face of the planet, right? Let me get Deuteronomy 7:6, right? The Lord said that we are the best people on the face of the planet. And like you said, maybe it's because we black and we absorb everything else, right?
There's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee.
He has what?
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee.
He chose everybody.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Unto who?
Unto himself.
Right?
Above.
A what?
Above.
Equal to.
Above.
The same as.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
You ever heard that? That the Lord chose us to be above everybody else on the face of the earth? Did you know that? God had a favorite people.
No.
That he has a chosen people. Let me get Deuteronomy 1:1 and let's see who these people are. Right? Because the Lord said that he has a favorite people and they're above everybody else.
And Roman Catholics believe that their God, they are the favorite people of their God.
Yeah, but let's see if it says Roman Catholics in their Bible. Because it's the same Bible they read from. Read that out.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spoke unto all Israel.
To who?
Unto all Israel.
To Roman Catholics.
Unto all Israel.
To Christians.
Unto all Israel.
To the Muslims.
Unto all Israel. On this side of Jordan.
He spoke only to Israel, not
Okay.
Roman Catholics.
Okay. I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
And I probably am, because I'm really down to the knowledge.
That's why we out here. That's why we out
All
here,
right.
brother.
So, Islam
Islam.
and Christianity worship two different gods,
Right.
but Islam he's an apostle.
He is?
I guess.
He,
I may be saying it
Go
wrong.
ahead,
I
go
may be
ahead.
saying it
I'm
wrong.
going to hear you out, then I'll,
Okay,
and then
let me
I'll
say it
expound
wrong.
on it.
But okay, how can I say it?
So you saying
All right.
because Ishmael,
Right.
so you saying because Ishmael was Abraham's son? Ishmael is Abraham's son, right? And Isaac is Abraham's son. So Ishmael would be your Muslim, right? And then Isaac is what they would get Christianity from. So that would be your Christianity. Is that what you're saying to me?
Okay, but if I'm right, if I'm wrong, I could be wrong. But the Crusades were meant to rid every other religion on the face of the earth.
Who ran the Crusades? What nationality of people? The Caucasian man ran the Crusades. The Caucasian man ran the Crusades,
That's
right?
right.
But the Caucasian man in the Bible would be called the Edomite, right?
Okay,
He's
I've
not
heard
God's
that word
chosen.
before.
He's not God's chosen people, and he's pissed about it because he could have been, but he sold his blessing to his brother, which is not the Caucasian man, which will be an Israelite, right? He was the father of Israel, right? Jacob had his name changed to Israel because he wrestled with an angel, and the angel couldn't overpower him until he tapped into his spiritual powers, right?
Okay.
I'm letting you
I'm
know
taking you-
because,
I'm
like you
taking your
said,
word
you
for it,
didn't.
bro.
Let's read it out the Bible, right? Let me get Deuteronomy, 32 and started like 25, I believe, when he started to wrestle the angel, right? So I'm not going to give you anything out of my mouth. I'm going to give you out of the Word of God, like He told us to do. He said, "Come out to the highways and the hedges and compel my people to come in,
Okay.
that my house may be filled."
So you're reading out of the Bible.
Out of the Bible, your basic
Okay.
instructions before leaving Earth.
And so the Quran.
The Quran
is a derivative of the Bible.
Let me tell you what the word Quran means. The word Quran actually means to recite. If you look up the meaning of the word Quran, it means recite. What were they reciting? The Bible. So why would you get a second-hand source when you can get the first-hand source?
Right.
That's right.
Why would you go second best if you already got top tier?
Right.
Would you rather have steak or bacon? I'm going for a filet mignon. No bacon if it's pork. But if it's beef, you can wrap that thing right around my filet mignon. I'll have both. But I'm going with that top tier first. Genesis, it should be Genesis 32. And I think it's 32.
I'm a seeker of
25
knowledge.
or something.
Well, I'm a seeker of knowledge.
It's right
whether
above
it be
28. Because 28 tells you that when he had his name changed, so it should be right above it.
There's a book of It's the book of Genesis chapter 32 verse 24. And Jacob was left alone.
And he was what?
And Jacob was left alone.
Jacob is our forefather, right? Because there was Jacob and Esau, right? They came from Isaac and Rebekah, right? She had twins. Jacob is one of the twins. He was left alone. Go ahead.
And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day.
So he's wrestling with an angel, right? Until the daybreak. Meaning the sun started to go down. Go ahead.
And when he saw that he prevaileth not against him.
So the angel's like, dang man, I can't even take this brother down. He's strong, but this is an angel. So he's like, how's he so strong? Right? He couldn't prevail against him. Go ahead.
And when he saw that he prevaileth not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh.
So he took Jacob and bow, went into his spiritual powers and hit the hollow of his thigh. Messed him all up. Jacob fell. Go ahead.
And hollow Jacob's thigh was out of joint.
So he popped his knee out. Right? Popped it right out the joint. Go ahead.
As he wrestled with him. And he said, let me go.
He said, what?
Let me go.
The angel was like, let me go. Let me go. And what Jacob say?
For the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go.
I will what?
I will not let thee
So
go.
the angel sitting there like, man, let me go. Let me go. Jacob holding on as tight as he can. He said, I ain't going to let you go. Go ahead.
Except thou bless me.
And what?
Except thou bless me.
Except what?
Except thou bless
He
me.
said, I'm not letting you go unless you bless me. Right? Go ahead.
And he said unto him, what is thy name?
What is what?
What is thy
He
name?
said, Jacob, what's your name? Right? And what he said?
And he said, Jacob. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob.
So this is where his name changed. Jacob ain't Jacob no more. He was so strong that the angel thought to change his name and give him a new one according to his strength. Go ahead.
And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel.
But who?
But Israel.
But who?
But
So
Israel.
his name was changed because
Of his strength.
The angel felt that his strength was accommodating to change it
But
for the
listen,
people.
it's going to tell you why his name was changed to Israel. Go ahead.
Your name shall no more be called Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince.
As a what?
For as a prince have thou power with God.
That's why his name was changed to Israel. Because it means prince that has power with God. He was that strong. Our people are that strong, are we not? Right. Aren't we the best people on the face of the planet? Who's the fastest people? Us. Who play basketball the best? Us. Who make the best music? Us. Who season the food the best? Us.
And we are no longer the minority.
Whose drip is the best? Us. A prince that has power with God, right? So Jacob had 12 sons. His 12 sons make up the tribes of Israel. That's how we became Israelites. That's why we not called black or African American or Negroes or niggas, because we're Israelites. That spoke Hebrew, so that's where you get Hebrew Israelites.
So Moses was an Israelite.
Moses was not an Israelite.
He was not.
Oh no, yes, Moses was. Yes, Moses was an
And
Israelite.
he had this, and God bestowed him on the strength to save his people.
Right, because at first Moses didn't know that he was an Israelite. He thought he was Egyptian. And he found out that he was an Israelite, and that's when he started to free his people. He was like, oh snap, man, my people's in subjection?
So Moses was commanded to free his people from oppression.
Right.
So he parted the Red Sea for his people to leave.
To get out,
get away.
finally.
And when his people were safe on the other side, he closed it on
The
top
Lord
of the
closed
army.
that sea back up and killed all the Egyptians that had us in oppression. Right. The Lord has done this for us continually, and he's going to do it for us again.
Okay.
In this land, which is the daughter of Babylon.
That's almost like Wilkinsburg and Homewood feuding with each other. You know what I mean? Because they're right.
Right next to each other?
Egypt, Israel, all
it's right next to each other. Right. And then you could mistake them for each other. You could mistake an Egyptian for an Israelite. Right? Because they did that with Paul.
Okay. So it was expressed that Jesus was fair-skinned, and curly hair.
Let's see what Jesus looks like. Give me Revelation
Waking
1 and 14. I'm going to show you what Jesus looks like according to his word, right?
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So white means what? That you have wisdom.
This is what I mean by that's curly.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right. And who on the face of the planet has woolly hair? What people?
Only us.
Only us.
Go.
That's right.
Go ahead.
His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow. And his eyes.
Those are our people too. That's Northern Kingdom right there.
That's right.
Hispanics are our people as well,
That's right.
right? There was a split though, but we'll get to that.
And his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow. And his eyes.
His what?
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Eyes were a flame of fire because one of his favorite drinks was wine. It tells you that in Genesis 49 and 12. Wine and milk were his two favorite drinks. When we drink wine,
But
the
wine,
whites...
but wine was the choice, the drink of choice.
Right, but it wasn't to get drunk. Our Savior drank wine in moderation, but never to get drunk.
Right.
But when we drink wine, it makes the whites of our eyes red. So that's why his eyes look like a flame of fire, right? That was the flame that they're talking about. Go ahead.
And his feet.
And his what?
And his feet.
So if you take your sock and your shoe off, your feet gonna be the same color as the rest of your body, right? They ain't gonna be purple or green under there, right? They're gonna be the same color as the rest of your body. John the Revelator is giving homage and respect to the Lord, so he's only looking down at his feet.
Right.
So he sees his feet, and his feet are what?
And his feet like unto fine brass.
Now what color's fine brass, brother? It would be a derivative of what? Brown.
That's
Right. It would be a derivative of brown, right? Go ahead.
And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burnt in a furnace.
So that's not a fair-skinned man at all. If you burn anything, what color is it?
I mean, what I meant by fair skin was, you know, he wasn't Caucasian.
No, he wasn't Caucasian. That would be fair-skinned. Caucasian would be fair-skinned. Right. He was a dark-skinned man, a steering dark-skinned man.
And he did not have straight hair.
No, he had no doggy straight hair. His hair grew up like our hair grows up.
Right.
Right? His hair grew up the same way our hair grows up. His hair was the same texture as a sheep,
Right.
just like yours and mine.
Right.
Right? He wasn't no little skinny white dude talking about some, oh, I love all of you. No. Give me Joel 2 and 27. The Lord said that only one people are his people. His Father created all of the people. Only one people did his Father love.
That's okay. Let me ask you a question. Adam and Eve. They were
Adam and
Caucasian,
Eve.
correct?
No. Adam and Eve are your people. There was no Caucasian man until Genesis 25. Adam, Eve.
No, that I did not know. I was always under.
But I'll bring that out right after this one.
This is the book of Joel, chapter 2 and verse 27. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel.
So this is God speaking, saying, I'm in the middle of Israel. Go ahead.
And that I am the Lord your God.
I'm your God.
And none else.
And what?
And none else.
And what?
And none else.
I'm your God, the Israelites. I'm in the midst of Israel. I'm your God and none else.
My people shall never be ashamed.
And the Israelites shouldn't be ashamed of knowing this. They shouldn't feel bad because God is only the God of the nation of Israel.
See the difference between the Baptist, the Pentecostal, you know, these
Different white men. Different white men. That's the difference.
That's right.
This white man made up Baptist. This white man made up Pentecostal. This white man made up Seventh-day Adventist.
Most Baptist churches are black
Are what?
churches.
Are what?
Are black churches.
Why?
That's why I'm asking you.
And what color of Jesus do they have in there? They got a white Jesus, right? Because they give us that depiction of the white man with the right long curly hair, right? And then most of us are in there because we don't know who we are, right?
Right.
Let me get Jeremiah 17 and 4. This is why most black people are inside of that building.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 4.
Bring it out.
And it reads, And thou, even thyself.
So this is Jeremiah speaking. He said, thou. talking to the Israelites. He said, even his self, right? Go ahead.
Shall discontinue.
Shall what?
Shall discontinue.
Shall what?
Shall discontinue from thy heritage.
He said, thou, the Israelites, even his self will discontinue from the heritage what?
That I gave thee.
That the Most High God gave to us. Right? He said that we're going to discontinue from our heritage. So if we don't know that our heritage is to keep the commandments, we're going to go into the church.
Right.
Because we are godly people. We have a zeal of God, just
Right.
not according to knowledge. So we want to be around the Most High God, but if we lost our heritage, we wouldn't know how. Right? Go ahead, just more on that.
And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee. And I will cause thee to serve.
To do what?
And I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
So we weren't native to America, right? The Gadites were, right? The Northern Kingdom were native to America, right? They weren't even originally native. They just came over here, right? The Lord said that we're going to discontinue from our heritage that he gave us, and we're going to serve our enemies in a land that we don't know. So that's how we ended up in a Baptist church, in a Pentecostal church,
Right.
being Seventh-day Adventists,
Right.
because we're serving our enemies. That's why when you ask me, well, why is most of our people in Baptist, and what's the difference? I told you, different white men.
Right.
Because we're serving our
Which is why history is historic.
Right. And that's why whenever you hear about our history, we started as slaves. They don't tell you about us being kings and princesses before
That's
that.
right.
They don't tell you that you was the greatest people on the face of the planet
Right.
and you used to run the entire world.
Right.
All they tell you is that you
Before
came
the
from the
white
bottom
man-
of a slave ship.
Before the white man enslaved us, we were
The Egyptian.
slaves. We were slaves.
In Egypt, the Egyptian man sold us to the white man.
Right.
That's why I said all skin folk ain't kinfolk. That's why you can mix up an Egyptian with an Israelite because of skin color. Right? But this ain't about skin color. This is about the spirit of a man. Right? The spirit of a man. I showed you the two Hispanic brothers that walked past. They were fair-skinned. Right? Almost white. But they're still our people because the blood that flows through them. Right? They had the same terrible atrocities happen to them that the so-called black man had.
That's right.
Right? In 1492, they went on slave ships. We went in 1619. You know that's in the Bible?
Yeah, Christopher Columbus didn't discover America.
Nah.
He discovered South America, but he didn't come up north.
He discovered, South America, like you said. He didn't discover it. He just went there afterwards.
And he was on halfway because he went in the wrong direction.
Right. And that's where our people get Spanish from. Because he was a Spaniard. Right? And his people was trying to kill him off. So he had to go back to England to even get the okay to come back to America to destroy our people. His people was already trying to kill him. When they sent him over, they sent him over with sheep. And they was over there messing around with the sheep, and that's how they brought syphilis here.
Columbus was a pedophile.
Right. He was destroying our people. That's why the Lord said you're going to discontinue from your heritage and go and serve your enemies in a land that you don't know.
That's right.
So that's why we don't speak Hebrew and we speak this doggone bastard language English. Right? Because we're under our enemies.
That's right.
Right? Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 68 real quick. Right? Because I'm going to let you know who our enemies are according to the Bible.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68.
No.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So we weren't weaker than these other nations. The Lord did this to us because we didn't keep his commandments. So he said he's going to bring us into Egypt again. Right? What's Egypt? Let's find out what Egypt is. Right? You go to Exodus?
Exodus,
What is that? 20 and 2?
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
So what is Egypt? The house of what? Read it again.
Look at Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which I brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
So what is Egypt? The house of what?
Bondage.
Bondage. So what is bondage? Locked up. Slavery, right? So Egypt, now you know, is synonymous with bondage. Right? So the word Egypt just means in between a rock and a hard place. Right? It means for you to be locked up, enslaved. Every time you hear Egypt, now you know what that means. We were literally in Egypt. We was locked up in Egypt. Right? So go ahead.
Book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 64. Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So the Lord said, I'm going to bring you back into slavery again.
With ships.
Where?
With ships.
How did our people get here to America? Our foremothers and forefathers was what? On ships. So he's going to send us into captivity, into Egypt, into bondage again with ships. Go ahead.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
So Moses said the same way that I'm telling you is about to happen is how it's going to happen. The way whereof that I spake unto you is how it's going to happen. Go ahead.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
So we'll never be back to our homeland as a whole, back to Israel. We'll never see it again. Our people aren't going to go there as a whole until Yahweh Shai comes back.
That's right.
Right, because we're from Israel, right? We're from Jerusalem. She's the mother of us all. Go ahead.
And there.
And where?
And there.
Meaning here in America, wherever they dropped us off. Go ahead.
Ye shall be sold.
We shall be what?
Ye shall be sold.
We shall be what?
Ye shall be sold.
When our ships pulled up, right? They pulled up in Virginia. They pulled up in Pennsylvania. When they pulled up, we were sold, weren't we? To who?
There ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
To who?
Unto your enemies.
Unto who?
Unto your enemies.
We were sold to our enemies. So when we pulled up and these ships came, who put us on auction blocks? What people? The white people. The black people got us over from the west end of Africa, right? The Egyptian got us in bondage, put us, and he traded us for guns, gold, oil, for any and everything that he felt like. And he grabbed us up, and they have a spot called the point of no return. That's where the slave ship will pull up, and they would just push us all in there, right? And when we got here, we were sold unto our enemies, which is the other nations, right? Now, we got sold unto our enemies for what?
For bondmen.
For slave men.
And bondwomen.
And slave women.
And no man shall buy you.
And nobody could save us, right? We're still here in the land of our captivity today, aren't we? Right. Underneath of our enemy, right? Still going off into their religions, right? We're under our enemy, man. Right? We're still under the hand of our enemy today. Give me Baruch 3 and 8, Baba Kasham. We still under the hand of our slave master. They still got their foot on our neck. I mean, they literally showed you that with George Floyd. You still under me, nigga, is what they say to us. And you don't believe it? I'm going to show you on national TV. And ain't nobody gonna save you. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing about this. We gonna choke this man out with my knee in his neck. That was a subliminal message to us. Okay, y'all got Black Lives Matter, but you don't.
Okay.
Your lives don't matter.
What is the feud that's going on now between Jerusalem and Palestine?
And Israel?
Yes.
Over there?
Yes.
Because they not in their land. That's stolen ground.
So the West Bank is really our land? Or?
The whole Israel was our land.
So how does separate?
They separated it because what they did is made the Suez Canal. It's a man-made canal, right? So that's how they were able to separate it from saying it's from Africa. So they separated the Suez Canal and put it in the middle and said, oh, well, Israel's... No, that's man-made. They made that...
I thought that was down in like... No, that's the
No, that's Panama, right. So the Suez Canal is a man-made canal, so they can separate and say, oh, well, Africans are only in Africa. Israel, that's where our white people are. That's not true.
The Nile goes to Israel,
Right. Right. Yeah, because that's what the Lord promised Abraham.
right?
Right. So go ahead, bring that out.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 3 and verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day.
We are what?
We are yet this day in our captivity.
Still today. You're still in your captivity. We're not back in our land. When we get back to our land, the Lord said there will be no more war. What's happening right now in Israel? War.
That's right.
They're being destroyed. They didn't even know what was happening. They've been kidnapping, raping, murdering, destroying Israel. They said, look, if y'all even try to bomb us, we're going to come destroy y'all. And now they got more and more people that they thought were on their side against them.
That's right.
Because they stole our land.
That's right.
Give me numbers
Brothers are
35
fighting each other.
and 33.
If you think about it, the brothers are fighting each other.
Who?
Brothers. When I say Israel and
Oh no, that's a false brother. All right, you got you're talking about Ishmael. You're saying because you're talking about Ishmael, but the people that are in Israel stole that land in 1948, 47. They actually took it. Yeah, they wouldn't be Jacob, which we read about earlier. That's our forefather.
I think that was Roosevelt that allowed them
to take that land.
Declaration.
Right, but that's not. No, they're the same. They're the same kind of people. They're basically the same people fighting each other. But the Lord said that He's going to fight for us, so He uses them against each other. He uses them as a sword against each other to fight, and we ain't got to do nothing. But once it's done, go back over there. Once the Lord frees us and takes us back over there.
That's right.
Bring that up.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 35 and verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land where ye are.
Right, so you're not supposed to pollute wherever you are, right? But the other nations don't listen to God, so they pollute everywhere that they go. Go ahead.
So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are. For blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein.
So the blood that was shed, we got murdered. We got murdered in Israel, taken out of Israel. We had to flee from Israel over to the west ends of Africa, right, in 70 AD. We got ransacked. We had to leave. The blood was shed all over the place, right? We had to run. Boom. They kidnapped us, brought us over here, and then put us into slavery and shed our blood like crazy here, right? They also did that to the... Go ahead, lady. Go ahead, lady. They also did that to who? The Native and Seminole Indians here. So the blood was shed everywhere. The Lord said that pollutes the land, right? And the only way that it can be cleansed is if...
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 35, verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land where ye are. For blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
So the only way that the land can be clean is by killing off the people that shed that blood originally.
That's right.
Which was your enemies that put you on auction blocks.
That's right.
When we got put here by slave ship.
That's right.
So they have to be wiped out.
That's right.
That's the only way to cleanse the land.
That's right.
That's why the Lord said that He don't love everybody. And He said that you're Israel and I love you. I'm in the midst of you. And you are my people. And you shall never be ashamed. That's why we are telling you to come back to what? The laws, the statutes, and commandments. Right? Give me John 14 and 15. Because Christ said this.
The commandments is thou shalt not kill.
Right.
So, in order for us to come back,
right,
we have to murder.
No, the Lord said that He gonna fight for us. It's not us that's gonna do it. The Lord's gonna do it. Right. Go ahead.
This is the book of John, chapter 14 and verse 15.
Bring it out.
If ye love me, keep my commandments.
What the Lord say?
If ye love me, keep my commandments.
So we have to keep the commandments, right? And like you said, one of the commandments is thou shalt not
Kill.
Right. But how do we get food?
I mean, technically, we're only supposed to hunt, eat, not
Right, but then you have to do what to it?
kill. That's a kill.
You have to kill it.
Yeah, that's right.
You got to kill it. When it says thou shalt not kill, it means murder. Right? You ain't supposed to be out here murdering. Right? But if you're trying to get you some food, you got to kill it to get it. Right? If I want a cow, and I kill this cow, and I'm using this cow to eat, that's clean in God's eyes.
Right.
Right? That's clean in the Most High God's eyes. But if I'm just out here, oh man, I want the head off this thing, and put it up on my wall, that's murder. And I was just doing it for ill-gotten gain. That's vanity. That goes against the commandments of the Most High God, right? That's against the commandments of the Most High God. So when you hear certain things, that's why we have to do what? Study to show ourselves approved.
That's right.
Right? The Lord said that we have to do that, right? What is that? 1 Timothy 2 and 15? Let me get that. Right? The Lord told us everything to do to live. And he also told us if we don't do certain things, it'll kill us. He said if you keep the commandments, you'll live. If you don't keep my commandments, you're going to die like every other man. Go ahead.
This is the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2 and verse 15. Study. Study.
What the Bible say?
Study to show thyself approved.
Do what?
Study to show thyself approved.
Right. We got to study to show ourselves approved. Go
Unto
ahead.
God.
Unto who?
Unto God.
Unto man.
Unto God.
Right?
A workman that needeth not to be ashamed.
Right. The Lord keeps telling us, you're my people. I love you. Study. Show yourself approved. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. Right? Don't be ashamed of the Most High God. Many of our people hide their faith. Right? But the Lord said faith without works is what?
Dead.
Faith without works is dead. A lot of us hide that with the fact that we love God.
It's kind of hard to be behind something that's already written.
Say it again.
It's kind of hard to be behind something that's be shamed or hide something that's already written.
Right.
It's like it was written that I was going to come around the corner or something.
Right, and that, the Lord already put that here. He already ordained that, right? Because the Lord makes our steps, right? It's not us that pick and choose our steps. The Lord does this. Ultimately, he just has us do it,
Right.
right? But it's the Lord that makes it happen. It's not of us. It's not of him that willeth or him that runneth, but of the Most High God that choose this way, right?
We have free will.
We don't have free will. We have no free will whatsoever. Let me get Proverbs 20 and 24 about this stuff. We don't. I'm about to show you.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 20 and verse 24.
No.
And it reads, man's goings are of the Lord.
I have free will.
Man's goings are of the Lord.
I do what I want.
Man's goings are